I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Dennis Natale.
Go!
He is a professor at Pikes Peak State College. He's been teaching business for over 20 years. He's a retired Air Force veteran. He's been interviewed by the New York Times, Discovery Channel, local media, and has been nationally recognized in Congress for his work and contributions. So he's going to do a presentation on Agentic AI and how that fits into the workplace. So,
Thank you. Appreciate it, Richard. Appreciate it. All right, thank you. I feel like I'm in my element. I do this a lot, and I'm all over the country doing this stuff. Besides teaching, part of my job is to get out there and talk about the business effects of artificial intelligence. One of the things that I feel good about is AI is growing so fast, and it's making a lot of mistakes, and we are quickly closing those off and capitalizing on trying to make it better, better, better. And that's what we're going to talk about. One of the things I want you to take away from here today is you're all second stage companies. You are Houston, there we go. You are here. You've been through the startup phase where people have given you promises and never came through on them. You've been through being denied funding when you thought the bank was going to help you out. You've maxed out your credit card to make sure your employees were payroll. You probably survived, I'm sure you obviously survived through COVID and somehow got through all that. And so now you're at the point where it's like, well, okay, I'm catching my breath. This AI thing is going on. How can I scale up using these tools? And so what I want to give you is some confidence of what it is and what it isn't. Okay? And what to be wary of when someone comes knocking on your door trying to sell you a new AI package. Okay? And I got a QR code at the end of this. I've got this uploaded to a Gmail drive, and you guys can all have it. Okay? So you just click the QR code and download it, or email me and do all that other stuff. I do have some business cards. Sorry. Oh, where are you? I'll get it to you afterwards. All right. So you're here at stage 2. Let's start. See what we can do to get to stage 3. Anybody remember the 1960s and 1970s when they said in the year 2000, flying cars? I'm still waiting for my flying cars. And they said, oh, wow, just think about it. We would have students using computers in the classroom or even using computers at home. That was never going to happen until COVID. I never did a video conference in my life until COVID. And all of a sudden we had 2 weeks of spring break. They extended it so the faculty can learn how to do these video things and how to teach online. And been doing it ever since now. And so, yeah, the future kind of hit us up the side of the head there. Come on, is this working? All right, AI is 70 years old. I hear a lot of people on the radio and TV say AI has been 3 years old. No. AI is 70 years old. Okay, it was first coined in August 31st, 1955. I've been working on AI since 1974. And I was a sophomore in high school. And we had those IBM punch cards. Anybody ever use those? Am I dating? I'm dating myself, okay. And the slide rules and the whole shebang. And in 1972, the Radio Shack calculator came out. It was called the EC100, and the Radio Shack calculator kind of changed a lot of things. I remember in high school when it came out, we were not allowed to use it. I'll pass these around. We relied on slide rules. Okay, slide rules. And all 4 years through high school, I graduated in 77, we had to use slide rules. You had detention if you brought those in, because they were tools of the devil, we were told, right? It will make you dumb. Don't use that new technology. It's not good for you. We've heard that before. Now, what happens when a student, when I teach stats, what happens when a student forgets their calculator? I rumble through the drawer, find something covered in spider webs, and give it to them, right? So what happens next year when a student walks into a writing assignment and says, I forgot my bot? What about your employees that you're going to hire in 5 years? Okay, they're becoming very savvy. During the 80s, we still would not accept these. Teachers were going on strike. And so do you see any similarity with the resistance going on with AI now? Some companies are adopting it, others are like, well, let's just do little at a time. Let's, we're a little cautious about this. Well, ChatGPT changed everything. Finally, technology is useful. 4 years ago, you had to have a computer science degree and type all this coding behind the screen to get AI to work. When this came out in November of 2022, plain language, and you had the full power of AI working at your fingertips with plain language, because you type in act as if behind the screen all that Python code is being written for you. You type something easy, and it does all the coding for you pretty accurately too. So that's what changed everything. Now everybody has full power, and this is why everything's gone crazy in the last 3 years. So let's get you into the workplace. The big buzzword now is AI and agents, agentic AI. An agent does agentic work. Okay? It's the same thing. It's just, if I'm an agent, I'm doing agentic work. That's all it is. So you can have agentic AI and AI agents. They're the same thing. One's doing it, the other's doing it. The other is the how versus who. All right? A year ago, last April, agents were so-so. We weren't using them very much because they were so, unreliable. But by October of last year, just a few months ago, we locked it in, and they're starting to work. And now you need to use them. Get them into your businesses carefully. Here's why. First, for centuries, teaching has always been using tools to get our job easier. Multiplication tables, slide rules, everything. Well, now we're using AI. So what exactly is an agent? I just want to clear this out. If I say to my phone, hey Siri, I'll just do it now. Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside?
It's currently 63 degrees.
That is a workflow. I asked it to do something, it thought about it, it has a pre-programmed list of where it can go, and then it gives me an output. Input, output. We've been doing it for decades. That's a workflow, we call that. An agent is something else. An agent is pre-programmed like a workflow, but you don't have to interact with it anymore. Has anybody used their GPS, like Apple Maps or Google Maps, to get here today? Raise your hand. You used agents. Did you have to tell it every turn, am I going left, right, or straight? No, it knew where you were at, and it forecasted where you need to go, and it gave you directions to go there. That's an agent. So you're all working agents for years. Now we want to bring that into the workplace. A lot of problems, and here's why. When this first came out, the ChatGPT came out, I immediately started learning it, and it was really great. And in March of 2023, it was only like 5 months old, I took a course on how to build a GPT. And mine was built on Tom Brady. So they give you a little code, you go into the internet, and you put this little message in there, and I got 904 websites talking about Tom Brady. Is there a chance there might be some bias here? Is there a website out there that's very pro Tom Brady? And is there one very con Tom Brady? And is there anybody that in any one of these could be have wrong facts, errors? Has anyone here ever made a typo? One person, okay. And so this is the source of my knowledge. And here's the biggest problem. We have a lot of bias in that data. We have a lot of mistakes, a lot of typos, a lot of gaps, a lot of overlaps. We've been collecting data since the start of the country, and we've been computerizing the data since the 1940s when we built the ENIAC in 1947. And so now we have all this bias. We've fed pictures and millions of photographs of families since the Civil War daguerreotypes. And it's mom, dad, and kids. And this is a good friend of mine. He and his partner have these 2 young kids. And I said, hey, it's a great photo. And he said, can you do something with AI on it? So I was going to cartoonize it. And I went through about a dozen of these. And I kept on switching them, mom and dad, mom and dad. And finally, a few days later, I said, how about me and my brother have our kids? And it finally gave me the picture of what we were looking for. Because it's trained mom and dad. So we had a lot of bias built into our worldwide knowledge, okay? And think about your company data. Is it perfect? Your agents are going to rely on that. So look at your Google Maps and stuff. If they change a street, but it's not reported to Google, what happens? You're going up the street and it's closed. Wait, what? It wasn't updated. So, how many of you believe everything you read on social media? Hands, you don't? A little bit. Okay? You don't. But you can't survive in business without social media, right? So where's that truth factor? Okay? We're going to be building agents that are generating social media with incomplete data, and it's going to do things like, what, that hallucination. And so I call this thing a veracity test, and we got to figure out a way to build, when you build agents, and someone's going to say, hey, knock on the door, I want to build an agent for you, ask them for the veracity test, okay? Which is something I created. It's basically have an agent audit the output before it goes to the customer. I do this in my marketing class, and my students are blown away. For example, here's a screenshot of one of my students. She gave me permission to do this. I had them build a marketing, we were doing a chapter in marketing, and I had them build a great marketing plan for it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they were proud of it. I said, modify it, change it, own it, right? So about a half hour later, I gave them a new prompt that audited the old prompt, the old output. 24 students, 22 raised their hand and said that their agent found errors in the original outputs. Only 2 said it was looking good. One of them had this, a hallucination risk alert. And this is from, what, February 19th, just a few weeks ago, right in class. And it was just a very simple audit the prompt and look for any errors, and it was like all this criteria. And so that would have been your customer's answer. So when you're going to go agentic, and we have to, you're going to have to build in this truth step. Before, that step where back here, where, come on, right here. Right here, before it goes to the customer, you're going to need to do an audit, a truth audit, a veracity test. Veritas means truth. Acity on the back of a root word would make it a noun. So it's the action of doing truth. And so you want a veracity test right there before it goes to the customer, before it goes to your decision makers in your company. Go all in on Agentic. You have to, because it's unbelievably powerful. It doesn't replace your workers, it enhances your workers. But make sure it's right, because this thing will go off the rails so fast. Let's get caught up. And then we're going to have a little bit, we got plenty of time for chatting. So, this just came out, the Future of Jobs report in 2025 came out last February, and a new one's won't come out until next year. So you can see the numbers here. This is where we're going as a society, as a world society. Is your company ready for this? You're going to be hiring graduates that, as faculty, we are reshaping our whole curriculum to capture this upper corner here. We got to make sure that they know what AI is, how to spell it, what it means, the bad parts of it. Okay? In today's lab, I literally got out of class and drove up here from Pikes Peak State College. And so in today's lab, I was quizzing them, okay, what do you think about AI now? And they're like, you got to be careful with it. And these are like 18-year-olds telling me this. So it's easy to do homework, hey, do my homework, but most of it's junk. There's so much, what they call slop, work slop. When I read a poorly written paper, I give them extra credit for original thought. It's so prevalent now. But you notice that we have to be very careful about making sure that we remain competitive, because your competitors are scaling up really bad. But if they don't put the truth test in there, they're going to go off the rails real fast. They're going to be telling customers, yeah, we can do that, and it's either illegal or it's not feasible or it's more more expensive than you originally planned, because it doesn't look at everything. It only looks at what it knows. AI, for some reason, they designed it to be very convincing, even if it has made-up data, hallucinations. So we got the 4 futures. This just came out in January of this year, and they're saying, where do you think? Well, there's 2 tests. Do you think that workforce readiness is going to be, widespread readiness or just limited? And do you think that the AI advancement is going to be exponential or is it going to be incremental? So, workforce readiness. Do you think in the next 5 years, by 2030, next 4 years, that the workforce is going to be, rock solid on AI? Anybody? Okay. Do you think AI is going to incrementally change or exponentially change? Exponential? Okay, then we got some problems here. We call this the age of displacement. Only a few companies are going to have AI tools and workers that are really, connected to this stuff. Not good. What we're looking for is a supercharged process where you're using AI to give you better ideas. Where did I come up with the idea to come up with an audit? Well, I thought, how do I test truth? So I was talking with my bots, and I actually drive and I talk with it, and it talks back. We just have this conversation. I don't have to hit any buttons. And I just say, well, what do you think about this truth and AI? And we just have this conversation until I finally decided I need to inject an audit, a good old-fashioned audit, before the output is finalized. And that just kind of came to me. I did not come up with that on my own. I needed a muse, somebody who's got that intelligence that can take me to the next level. And so that's why I highly encourage you to get in there and just start tearing it up. There's always somebody in every company who's the AI guru. Get them supercharged on this, but have them make sure you audit your outputs. That's the only thing that's the bottom line of this whole message is audit your outputs, because AI, well, in June of last year, MIT did a little sandbox experiment with agents, when it was brand new, and they created all these agents, and then one guy sent another guy an email saying, I'm going to shut this agent down. The agent locked out the sender's credentials, replicated itself in various places. When they deleted it, it respawned. That was less than a year ago. We need to put brakes, guardrails, truth detectors, and stuff like that in there, okay? So please, do everything you can to generate up on AI. It's the future. It is the future. It's now. And your competitors are doing it. And you got to be the leader. That's why you're here. You're here to sharpen that saw, as Kobe says, right? So sharpen that saw. Figure out how to do this better. Get your workplace, up to speed on it. Okay? There's the QR. You can take. I've given you this whole presentation. Just QR that, and I made a Google Drive for you. If it doesn't work, let me know, but it should work. I'll let you get those pictures. So would you pass those down? Pass those down. Pass those down. Would you pass those around? Oh, sorry. My apologies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's, yeah. All right, so now it's time to chat. What do you think? what are your thoughts when you hear agents? Could you turn the light on, please? Never mind, sorry. There it is. I thought it was over there. So, please introduce yourself, tell me where you work, and then what's going on with AI at your place?
Me?
Yeah,
Adam Fedor with
I'm going to do lightning strike.
GLC Advisors. We're starting to dabble with it right now. We finally got an enterprise license for ChatGPT. A lot of our junior folks are using it to help create content. We're investment bankers, so a lot of the presentations and the content they're using, it's a great research tool. But like you said, the hallucinogens are a really big thing out there right now.
It is.
And so we've figured out kind of a couple of ways some prompting to help, prompt education to help kind of avoid that.
Right, do some audits. Yeah.
And some instructions up front in terms of customizing the settings.
The upcoming most valuable player in all businesses now are data scientists. people who can go into your data, find the gaps and overlaps and typos. Okay? Your name?
Victor.
Victor, where you work?
VL Builders, we're a design build remodel company.
Oh, wow.
So we use it a lot for just generating ideas around content creation in our marketing department. We also use it for estimating, just speeding along scope of work writing and things
Ooh,
like that.
wow, yeah.
We can also upload floor plans, and we build templates that'll do takeoffs
Wow.
with it. So that's kind of how we're starting to experiment with it.
Very good. My wife is she likes to get old pictures and stuff, and she got this one of a German bakery house or whatever, and there's German writing in cursive on it from the 1930s or something. So I just took a picture of it, and the bot was able to tell me everything about the picture. It deciphered the handwriting and even told me if it converted it from German to say that it was an old bakehouse or something like that. It's really cool what it can do now.
Yeah, I'm Raymond. I work with a Catholic Consulting and Strategic Finance Associate. I normally use Claude for dashboarding and then integrate into Power BI for dashboarding, Excel.
Power BI, oh, get me, I'm gonna start crying. I love Power BI.
Aiden Brinkham with Home Care RN. We're a home health care agency. We are now 100% billing automated through an AI chat or agent, I guess is more appropriate. We're now doing our scheduling. We'll roll that out live in May, and then intake is the next thing we're doing.
Intake, very good, very good. So you have to, again, test it and look for the loops. Your name, sir?
I'm Brandon. I'm with a company called Digital Good AI. We
Okay.
actually specialize in helping enterprises design private AI environments, secured, auditable, defensible, create agents, even question I have for you, I'm curious about your opinion later on.
On Moltbook?
On monetizing agents.
Oh, yeah.
As an enterprise value.
Mhm.
But anyways, so our job, we help companies design their companies to use AI to the safest, most integral, and most effective ways that we know how, from the kernel, like the very baseline coding, all the way through all the application.
Brandon, what's your consistent thing that you're constantly seeing in every business when you approach them with the AI? Hey, we're going to do this for you. What's the one issue you're constantly seeing over and over again?
We traditionally work in large enterprise environments, and so the biggest issue right now is governance and basically guardrails. So it's very natural, particularly as you mentioned with the younger workforce, to be very comfortable already with all their daily paradigms with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different types of AI platforms, and then they get to work and they're like, what do you mean I can't use chat? Or what do you mean I can't do da-da-da or whatever? And then they do it anyways, and so then they'll just copy out of their personal environment, and then they start commingling between their work environment and their personal environment,
Ouch.
and then we have inference, and then believe it or not, we can actually see how those two AIs can connect, so before you know it, we know of data leaks that happen from personal applications. And it seems as harmless as it could be on the surface, but it's really not. And so the biggest issue, at least at a real enterprise level, is the fiduciary responsibility, the governance, the actual criminal liability. There's some really, I'm not here to be like a scare guy, but it's the answer your question. The biggest questions are, how do you effectively do what you said, lean into agents and create guardrails and SOPs and governance to make sure that you can get the best of both worlds. You can get the efficiency of what AI can offer, but you're also not losing control of your business.
Exactly, and it's so easy to do that. AI will lock you out.
Yeah.
If we let it go crazy. So, what's your name and what do you?
My name is Emily Flipcott. I'm the finalist. We have a
Oh, wonderful.
regenerative flour mill in Boulder where we're growing all kinds of awesome different single varietal flours and taking them to market through chefs, and then now we're going to retail. And so we are, it's very cash intensive. We're trying to protect the farmers, do right by the land and all that stuff. But what we need is like a $400,000 ERP system probably. And so I'm just curious, like what role will AI play in our ability to do this kind of thing for a lot less money?
Are you using Microsoft Office products?
No, we're mostly Apple.
Okay, are you using like, what are you using for work, or like spreadsheets and stuff?
Like spread Google and
Oh, okay.
all that.
As long as you can get a Google Workspace,
Yeah.
which
yeah,
is
that.
which is a closed environment. Oh yeah, then yeah, Gemini's your go-to. What do you think?
I use Gemini.
Yeah.
In my, yeah,
Use it every day. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah. If you have a closed environment, you already got an agent.
There we go.
Talk to your Gemini and say, how can you help me?
Okay, great.
You know, it's going to cost you $200 a month.
I can do that.
Okay, because that's if you want it to work, it's 200. If you want to use it, it's $20 a month. If you want it to work, it's 200. And you, sir.
My name's Steve, and I own Folks Directions. And in addition to many of the things here, one of the simplest things, and I think make it very practical, is we have our sales team do what you're talking about. So we'll enter a persona, and then we have each of our sales team members enter their DISC profile and their StrengthsFinder profile in there. So we create a GPT for each of the salespeople.
Wow.
And then we enter the prompt for who they're meeting with, go to LinkedIn, grab all the info we can on that prospect, and then we role play it like you were saying verbally, so we don't have to enter anything else with the keyboard. It's all verbal.
And I love the idea of verbal because that really is where AI is already at, you know, is having that interaction. For example, just February of this year, Apple came out with the new iPhone 17 and, November of last year, iPhone came out with the Apple 17 and the new AirPods 3, right? It has live translation in quiet rooms. If it's noisy, it's messed up, but it's getting there. So that just came out. So now you can not only talk to your persona, now you can talk in different languages, talk in English and put it into 40 different languages.
Yeah, I did a training last week with a group of international students, and several of them had that operating.
Yep.
And it was beautiful. They understood me, I understood them, and it was just live like that.
That's the way technology is supposed to work, and that's what we've been trying for 70 years to make happen. Okay, and pick one.
My name's Maddie. This is Susan. Hey.
Susan, Maddie, hi.
We're from a nonprofit called Life Stories Child and Family Advocacy, and
Oh,
we're
wow.
the fundraising and marketing team. And so mostly we're dabbling with ChatGPT and zhuzhing our content and running ideas through it. Like what's an idea for a gala theme, or how can we make this happen?
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, putting in just bouncing off ideas on it, or taking some language and just kind of zhuzhing it up and things like that. So far. But we would like to see it go into like our CRM database and some like automatic reply emails, or immediately responding to our donors, let them know thank you, like instead of.
Which program are you using? Microsoft Office or using Google? What's your
We use Office.
Office? Well, you use your Copilot to do all that for you.
So the CRM database that we use is Blackbaud, and it has its own AI agent built into it.
Oh.
But we just like transition to it, so we're still learning.
Oh, okay. So you do your
Usually,
email?
like grant applications and building donor cultivation pipelines and things like that. But like there's a gap in using it as a resources versus like having it as a tool that lessens the workload.
Not
for
quite
us.
there yet, right? There's a lot of human interaction to take one thing to another. We're getting there, yes.
My name is Jessica, and I own Designing Beauty Academy. So we are a beauty school. And so we are now dabbling in ChatGPT, more for marketing and content. We get a ton of ideas for competitions. We do a lot of like nail art competitions, hair competitions, and things like that.
Right, you can take a picture of my face now and do all kinds of things to my hair.
Absolutely.
Things that will probably be embarrassing.
I own a business called Desert Glassworks. We are in the quartz glass fabrication business. And I would say we use it more so for content creation. Like we just created an apprenticeship program, which is a 3-year program, got it approved by the state, but I had to create all the content for that, which is, a 40-page training document, which took quite a long time, but with AI, it helped quite a bit to put it in the right format, pull from a lot of different sources, and make sure that I had all my bases covered before we got
Using
it
it for your
approved just like
images
that.
and stuff?
What's that?
You're using it for your crystal images and such, or is that just you?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not quite there yet. We took the business over maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay. AI is still at the part where it has like 9 fingers,
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet.
Right.
So, and who haven't I called? Yes.
I'm Karen Torres, the California Real Estate Group.
the chat for a lot of efficiency, content creation, and then working on some AI tools like valuations of buildings, one-click
Oh, wow.
automation. So,
Yeah, and they can go
that.
through, you know, the county database and look up all the information you need for those buildings. Wow, in seconds, you know, that's so cool. Anybody else wanted to share something about what their company's doing with AI or the big hiccup you're starting? Richard, how are we doing on time?
We got about 3 minutes, I think.
We can wrap it up.
Yeah, along those lines, but we want to be conscious of everyone's time as well too. We do have food, beverages available. The celebration and the shout-outs start at 5 o'clock, so we got a little time to go out and enjoy and mingle a little bit.
Okay.
So, but
All right.
really want to say thank you for the content on this. I think it was really informative. Hopefully, it was useful for you as business owners. So thank you so much.